air bubbles in your aquarium are your thing, then I've got the answer right here. Okay, so this is HYGGER's Oxyblast bubble strip. Now, again, this was sent to me. Now I've got the smallest one because I don't normally use bubbles, okay? However, just lately I've noticed a use for bubbles. Now, I did get a lot of algae in my tank because it was next to a window, okay? It was a tiny little tank I set up just as a hospital tank for a better fish. And I actually had to have bubbles going, okay? And I noticed the algae started dying off. So I thought, well, let's talk to these guys at HYGGER. Let's see what they say. Now, HYGGER's packaging is always really cool. Now look at that. That is a beautiful little bit of kit. You get a nice little bit of airline. When I say a bit, we have got over a metre, at least a metre. And look at that. That is a quality product. Airline goes in. I'm assuming there's suckers that go on this. Let's have a look. Oh, fantastic. Look at that. Even a non-return valve. That's so cool. However, you have to cut this to do that. If you don't know which end, sometimes they have arrows. Yeah, this one's got a little arrow on it. So you want the air to go in that way. You blow through it. If you can't blow, it's the right way, isn't it? We have a little thing. There you go. We've got one of these. And that's to hold the airline. Now, this is quite a weighty thing, so that ain't going nowhere. Obviously what you're going to do is you're going to put the airline on here. Ideally, do you know where I'd have this? I'd actually have it passed just on the side of the tank like that. So the tank's here, okay? On the side of the tank, that going in the corner. And where the output nozzle is, just having blown it, because that way the bubbles will go across the water. Anyway, that's just me. So I'm going to set this up and take. This is a beautiful piece of engineering, actually. I want to see how that actually functions. I might even set up a little air pump in here. No, do you know what? We're going to put this in a tank. We're going to get it set up. Nothing else in there. No. And there are different versions of this. There are instructions and a warranty. I've got the 15 centimetre, but there are loads of them, as you can see, up to 35 centimetres, which is a foot. Okay, let's take it out to the tank and we'll have a look. Okay, so there it is. I've just put it down there gently for the time being. There's a lot of reflection. Okay, let's turn it on. 3, 2, 1. Oh wow, look at that. If you ever wanted bubbles, now the 35 centimetre would be great, but this is a 6 watt. Actually, let me turn it down. Let's kneel down a minute. This is a 6 watt air pump, so let me turn it down. Okay, so you want a minimum of probably 4 watts for this one, probably 6 to 8 watts on the 35 centimetre, but they'll all work. They'll just work better. And if I turn that down, even that, I mean, it's got some beautiful bubbles going on there, but at full power. And bubbles can be important, you know, I mean, especially at night. If you're using CO2, you need bubbles at night. Really, turn the CO2 off during the day, bubbles at night, rock and roll. Look at that, fantastic. Okay, let's do the pros and cons. Okay, so you've seen it in the tank. It is a very good piece. I mean, the trouble I find with the stone versions of these, okay, is after a while they do block up slightly and they lose coherence between this piece and this piece. Now, I'm not sure what's inside this. I believe it's going to be a stone, or it's going to be some kind of membrane that allows the air to go through. They do different versions of this. Now, again, if you're going to run any kind of thing, this at the back, it's weighted down already. Why not? Now, they're not cheap, but I think they're fantastic. HYGGER's really bringing their act. You know, there's a lot of other companies out here that, you know, this gives a 3 years warranty, a 3-year warranty. You don't get that with Airstones. But I would say it definitely needs over a 3 watt. In fact, it says it there, 3 watts So check your air pump. If it's 6 watts, you can get the bigger version, and so on and so on. So rock and roll. I think this is great. Thanks again, HYGGER. Well done.